Hello and welcome to Fernbank Science Center's The Sky This Week for December 19th through 25th, 2021. This week we get the December solstice, sometimes called the winter solstice, first day of winter. There are bright planets in the early evening sky and bright stars just before the sun comes up in the morning. Start in the evening sky. Look toward the western or southwestern part of the sky. If you're not sure where that is for your observing spot, figure out where the sun went down. That's roughly the direction west. Put your nose in that direction and you'll be facing the first three stars you see tonight. Not stars exactly. Those are three of the planets in our solar system. One of them, Venus, the one closest to the horizon there, is the brightest of those three star-like dots. It's a little closer to the sun than Earth is, and it's covered with clouds. So those clouds reflect sunlight really well, make it look really bright in our night sky. Next up, a little higher on the sky, the planet Saturn, the one with rings. A good telescope or good binoculars can show you the ringed planet. Finally, another bright one, pretty high up in the sky, the planet Jupiter. All three of those look like bright stars, but they don't twinkle, at least not as much as starlight does. Then we get the December solstice. For us, in the northern hemisphere, that marks the first day of winter. It might have already been wintry weather, but technically the first day of winter, when Earth gets to that spot along its orbit where the North Pole is pointing away from the sun. It's Tuesday, December 21st this year, and it happens at 10:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just before lunch, point your nose outside, welcome the season of winter. So how does that work exactly? Because it's northern hemisphere has winter, but the southern hemisphere has summer. This is a very out of scale diagram. The sun is way bigger for real. The earth is much smaller on a real scale and much farther away from the sun. But it shows how the rays of the sun's light strike Earth. And depending where Earth is along its orbit around the sun, that North Pole, the rotation axis, on the first day of winter for us, it's pointed away from the sun. So we don't get real direct sunlight and we don't get very many hours of it. So it's a lot cooler during the winter time. Look at the southern hemisphere though. That's where the energy is going. It's tilted toward the sun and they're just starting their season of summer in the southern hemisphere. Move along the week a little bit further to December 24th and get up really early in the morning, just before the sun comes up. The moon will have moved along its orbit and be out of the way pretty much, and we'll be looking at some of the brightest stars visible from anywhere on Earth. We talked about that winter hexagon last week, and if we can still find those, point those out. Start with Orion, 3 stars in a row for his belt, a couple of shoulder stars up here, a couple of knees down here, use your imagination. There's a curve of stars between Orion the hunter and Taurus the bull, this little V shape. So those bright stars, Rigel in the knees of Orion, swing over to Aldebaran in the eye of Taurus the bull, up higher on the sky to Capella, part of Auriga, the charioteer, over to the Gemini twins, highest up on the sky, Castor and Pollux, down to Procyon and the little dog, just 2 stars, any kind of dog you like, and Sirius in the big dog, back, legs, front legs, his little face looking at us. That hexagon of stars, those are the brightest ones we can see all year round, and they're up for us during the winter. Zoom in a little bit closer, focus on Auriga, this pentagon shape of stars with Capella as the brightest one. Notice that right near Capella, there's a little asterism, 3, they don't look very big or very bright, but they make a tiny triangle near Capella. Draw in some lines and words Capella's out here on the edge of our hexagon. Aldebaran, Betelgeuse in his shoulder of Orion. Capella is a yellow star, like our sun is, that same class of stars, G-class stars, much, much bigger than the sun is. And actually, it's a multiple star system. It's about 42 light years away from Earth. So the light coming into your eyes tonight from Capella left the star 42 years ago and is just now getting down here to us on Earth. In the drawing, you can see the little star asterism as two kids and a nanny goat. Usually it's shown with a nanny goat over the shoulder of this herdsman. Easy to find Capella anyway in the night sky. See if you can locate those other ones. And as always, thanks very much for listening. We do appreciate your tuning in to Fernbank Science Center's website, www.fernbank.edu, keeping up with our Facebook page, Friday evening at-home planetarium programs, and Saturday science, and have a great week and rest of the year.